Welcome to Kaleidoscope for Becoming Better and Brighter on Purpose. I'm your host, Celeste Emelia Mattingly, psychotherapist, quantum healing facilitator, coach, and instigator of your sacred soul-level evolution. Kaleidoscope for Becoming isn't just a podcast, it's a frequency for empowerment, a prayer in motion, a call to rise. Here we explore truths, tools, and transmissions for the evolution of consciousness, blending science, soul, and sacred strategy. Our goal is to help you heal, activate, ground and balance, awaken, and embody your luminous self. So, take a breath, open your heart, and get ready to become the change and make miracles an everyday happening. Let's evolve together, better and brighter on purpose. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Kaleidoscope for Becoming, the power of consideration. It's not what we think, it's how we think. I am very excited about this episode as some wonder-filled and amazing synchronicities and new developments happened during its preparation that I want to share before we get started. Some of you may know me as a psychotherapist, some may think of me as an author, and some of you may recognize me as the creator of celestial psychology or even the wonder-filled world of celestial empowerment. Yet my life's work has really been about developing an integrative framework for intentional human development. This framework brings together psychology, cosmology, spirituality, mythology, and consciousness. And yes, while the timeless and still relevant 12 principles of celestial psychology I wrote in 2012 describe the extraordinary potential that lives within each of us, it is the 12 plus codes that show us how to intentionally cultivate that potential. When I began writing Kaleidoscope for Becoming and working with the 12 plus codes myself, I have experienced what I can only describe as an acceleration in my own journey, with numerous aha moments and lasting insights into my own sense of meaning and purpose. I can honestly say that I am now living the better, brighter, and wiser dream that I have been writing about. Over the coming months, I will also be introducing the Kaleidoscope for Becoming coaching curriculum. In today's episode, we will be taking a deeper dive into the 12 plus codes for becoming by reviewing the archetypes and how they come alive for us with the overarching code of codes consideration. And then I invite you into the Temple of Becoming, a stunning visual immersive experience. And if you're listening rather than watching, don't worry, because the narration and the music were designed so that the temple can also be experienced with your eyes closed. Don't get me wrong, now thinking about thinking has always been on my radar, but until recently I had never fully appreciated the deeper meaning of the word consideration itself. One traditional interpretation of the Latin considerare links it to Cetus, meaning star or constellation, inviting us to pause and metaphorically look to the stars before making an important decision. Whether or not that is precise linguistic origin, it beautifully captures the spirit of what consideration has come to mean with the 12 plus codes. As a teenager, while many of my friends were out enjoying themselves, I was reading philosophy and studying Krishnamurti in search of answers to life's deepest questions. Later, the halls of Alcoholics Anonymous reinforced the importance of self-examination with the slogan, "Think, think, think." Most of us have also heard the timeless advice to think before we speak, act, or make an important decision. But how often are we invited to reconsider our beliefs? We've become familiar with the idea that changing our beliefs can change our lives. Consideration, when applied to the 12 plus codes, offers something even more liberating. It invites us into the lifelong practice of continually refining our beliefs as we grow in wisdom, experience, and awareness. In other words, consideration doesn't teach us what to think, but how to think and how to keep growing beyond what we think we already know. Today, we live in a remarkable time. Never before have there been so many systems inviting us to better understand ourselves. Astrology, the Enneagram, Myers-Briggs, gene keys, human design, personality assessments, and countless spiritual and psychological frameworks, each offering valuable perspectives. Many people find genuine insight through these approaches, and I celebrate anything that encourages greater self-awareness. But as meaningful as these systems can be, they also invite a deeper question. Is the goal simply to discover who we are, or is it to participate consciously in who we are becoming? Self-knowledge is a wonderful beginning, but it is not the end of the journey. Understanding ourselves is different from intentionally developing ourselves. This is where consideration becomes so essential. Consideration reminds us that no description of ourselves, no label, no chart, no personality type, no belief system should ever become the final word about who we are. Instead, every insight becomes an invitation to keep growing. The question shifts from who am I to who am I becoming? Consideration keeps us curious enough to refine our understanding, humble enough to question our assumptions, and willing enough to continue evolving throughout our lives. This is one of the most important contributions celestial psychology makes to the conversation about human development. It is not primarily a system for describing who we are. It is a framework for intentional human development, a lifelong practice of cultivating consciousness, character, discernment, and our participation in our own becoming. The 12 principles described our evolutionary possibility. The 12 plus codes cultivate our participation in that. Consideration is what keeps the participation alive. Today's episode is titled The Power of Consideration. It's not what we think, it's how we think. And I must tell you that the more I engaged with the concept, the more alive it became for me. In fact, the entire series and the 12 plus codes themselves have become much more meaningful than they were even last month or the month before. Today, I'd like to suggest that the greatest challenge of our time isn't simply what people believe, it's the relationship we have with our beliefs. Do we hold them so tightly that growth becomes impossible, or lightly enough so that wisdom can continue to emerge? The word consideration itself offers us another gift. It is no coincidence that we also use the word considerate to describe kindness and respect and thoughtfulness toward one another. There is no doubt the two meanings have been quietly connected all along. The more willing we are to consider our own beliefs, assumptions, and perspectives, the more considerate we naturally become in our relationships. Inner consideration naturally gives rise to outward considerateness. The Code of Consideration stands at the intersection of many systems. The familiar 12-step slogan, Think, 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 captures consideration's essence. Transformation begins with a moment of conscious reflection. Consideration is not another belief system, philosophy, or way of thinking. Rather, it is a way of approaching every decision, action, and belief with curiosity, humility, and a willingness to keep becoming better, brighter, wiser, increasingly discerning, and naturally more considerate of one another. Without consideration, any code in the evolutionary trajectory can become rigid or static. With it, every code remains a living invitation rather than a fixed conclusion. As mentioned in today's video, The Temple of Becoming, we will visit the 12 pillars. But before we experience the video, here's a brief introduction with a slideshow. Let's meet the archetypes for each of the 12 codes and consider ways consideration keeps them alive. The phoenix is the archetype for the code of change, and it assures us we will rise from the ashes if we embrace change. When change is difficult or we are stuck, consideration asks us to look again. Without consideration, change becomes resistance. Continuity's archetype is the ancient tree, reminding us of what endures with its deep roots and branches reaching heavenward. When continuity becomes attachment, consideration reminds us to discern what truly deserves to endure. Without consideration, continuity can become nostalgia. Competition's archetype is the warrior, strengthening our resolve to become better, brighter, and wiser. When competition becomes about defeating others rather than developing ourselves, consideration redirects us toward self-mastery. Without consideration, competition becomes domination. The archetype of commitment is the pilgrim, seen here with a lantern that keeps shining and illuminating the lonely path. When commitment hardens into a certainty, consideration reopens curiosity. Without consideration, commitment can become dogmatic. The archetype of coherence is the conductor, bringing energy, light, frequency, and vibration into harmony. When coherence becomes a closed system, consideration once again opens it to the living harmony of new possibilities. Without consideration, coherence can become oversimplification. The archetype of congruency is the mirror. When congruency becomes a fixed identity, consideration helps us continue to become our most authentic selves, calling us to strive for greater integrity. Without consideration, congruency can become self-righteousness. The archetype of complexity is the kaleidoscope. When complexity feels overwhelming, consideration encourages patient observation. The kaleidoscope, with its ever-turning nature, expands our capacity to make meaning of complexity. Without consideration, complexity can become confusion and lead to avoidance. The archetype of creativity is the magician, awakening our imagination and reminding us that we participate in creation. When creativity drifts into fantasy disconnected from reality, consideration helps us transform imagination into meaningful action. Without consideration, creativity can become escapism rather than creation. The healer is the archetype of compassion, softening our hearts while reminding us that love and wisdom belong together. When compassion loses healthy boundaries, consideration restores them. Without consideration, compassion can become enabling. The archetype of cooperation is the weaver. When cooperation slips into conformity, consideration honors thoughtful individuality. Without consideration, cooperation yields itself to conformity. The archetype of community is the circle. When community begins to divide us into us and them, consideration reminds us of our shared humanity. Without consideration, community can become tribalism. The messenger is the archetype of communication. It is depicted here as a dove, encouraging us to faithfully transmit what we have learned while remaining open to what we have yet to discover. When communication becomes one-sided rather than genuine dialogue, consideration asks us whether we are transmitting and receiving wisdom or simply reinforcing certainty. Without consideration, communication becomes propaganda. At first glance, these may appear to be isolated reflections, yet together they describe a lifelong practice of becoming the kind of person who continues asking better questions and remains open to new understanding rather than becoming trapped by fixed belief or rigid dogma. Now, as you join me in this sacred space where the 12 codes are represented as radiant pillars, you will discover that each offers a unique invitation to participate consciously in your own unfolding. In this temple of becoming, notice which archetype seems to call to you today. You may experience one as more alive than the others, inviting you to pause, to turn the kaleidoscope, to consider what you may require to continue your journey of becoming better, brighter, wiser, more discerning, and more considerate.
Welcome to this immersive 12-pillar experience in the Temple of Becoming. Settle into this moment. Take a few slow, gentle breaths, allowing each inhale to bring ease, and every exhale to relax your body and quiet your mind. As the darkness gently gives way to light, a magnificent circular temple begins to emerge before you. Around you stand 12 radiant pillars, each representing one of the 12 codes of the evolutionary trajectory. Each pillar illuminates a timeless archetype quality that has always lived within you. Each offers you the gift of remembering ancient wisdom your soul has always carried. You slowly approach the pillar of change, which has a beautiful phoenix rising from it. It whispers,
"Nothing true is ever lost through the fire of change."
Ask yourself, what is ready to become something new? Take a breath. Trust the answer will come in time. The pillar of continuity is a breathtaking ancient tree. You know its roots are reaching beyond time, and its branches touch the stars. It reminds you,
What is essential remains.
you feel connected to every chapter of your becoming. The pillar of competition has the warrior's golden sword. You recognize this is not a weapon, but a symbol of courage, discipline, and refinement. You hear the words,
Every challenge reveals another strength within you.
take a deep breath and honor one strength your life has already forged. The pillar of commitment honors the pilgrim. A lantern burns beside this pillar. Its flame never goes out. The pilgrim reminds you,
Small, faithful steps create extraordinary journeys.
simply renew your willingness to keep walking. At the pillar of coherence, a magnificent musical score conducts light, sound, frequency, and vibrations into perfect harmony. Coherence reminds you,
Harmony is stronger than control.
with these words you trust greater alignment is on the way. A crystal mirror stands before the pillar of congruency. This mirror does not reflect your appearance, it reflects your essence. You hear the words,
Allow your inner truth to become your outer life.
you trust the process, and smile gently at the person you are becoming. The pillar of complexity invites you to peer into a kaleidoscope. You see thousands of luminous patterns continually shifting, never repeating yet always belonging. You hear the words,
The greater the perspective, the clearer the pattern.
you allow the beauty you see to turn confusion into curiosity. At the pillar of creativity, you see the magician, turning tiny sparks into stars, flowers, music, new worlds. You hear the words,
You are here to bring into existence something that has never existed before.
notice what wishes to emerge through you, and trust that you have the power to manifest it. As you approach the next pillar, compassion, the healer fills your heart with emerald and rose light. All your burdens grow lighter. You hear the words,
What heals one heart helps heal the whole.
offer compassion to yourself and then to all beings. As you approach the cooperation pillar, you see the weaver's golden threads weaving a universal lattice of togetherness, and you recognize that nothing in life stands alone. You hear the words,
Together, we become more than we could ever become alone.
you recognize that you are woven into the great web of life. On the pillar of community, circles of ancestors begin to appear. Circles of teachers, friends, and those you have yet to meet. Together they speak.
We rise together.
You experience the warmth of being welcomed into the great family of becoming. As you approach the last pillar, communication, you encounter the messenger, represented by a white dove circling gracefully through shafts of golden light. Words become light. Light becomes understanding. Understanding becomes communion. The messenger offers one final reminder.
What you become is what you transmit.
You willingly allow your presence itself to become your message. Together, you and the dove soar to the center of the temple, then gently depart through the great archway, following the glorious golden path before you. As you leave the temple, you hear the words,
Whenever you seek wisdom, clarity, a new perspective, or whenever you simply wish to reconsider, this temple of becoming awaits your return. Until then, may you carry the light of the 12 codes into your day. And may you always continue becoming better, brighter, and wiser, on purpose and with purpose.
As we leave the Temple of Becoming and return from this immersive journey through the 12 pillars, I invite you to carry something of the experience with you. The temple was created not simply as something beautiful to watch, but as a reminder that these 12 plus codes are meant to be lived. My fondest hope for myself and for all humanity is that we never become so certain that we forget to turn the kaleidoscope once more. As we have seen, consideration is the guardian of the 12 plus codes of the evolutionary trajectory, ensuring that they continue to propel us forward on our personal and collective evolutionary journey. Consideration is not another piece of colored glass or even another pattern. It is the gentle hand resting on the kaleidoscope asking, "Are you willing to turn it once more?" I hope you are, and that today's experience has left you wanting to explore the 12 plus codes more deeply. I created the Kaleidoscope for Becoming Living Field Guide series to help turn these ideas into practices for everyday life. The 6 ebooks take us through the developmental journey, beginning with the foundation codes of change, continuity, and competition, moving into the stabilizing codes of commitment, coherence, congruency, and complexity. then the heart code of creativity and compassion, the collective codes of cooperation and community, the transmission code of communication, and finally, as we have seen today, consideration, the code of codes that keeps all the others alive. Each living field guide combines psychology, conscious evolution, symbolism, contemplation, reflection, and exercises designed to help us work with these codes intentionally, not simply as ideas to understand, but as capacities we can cultivate. You can find all 6 ebooks on Amazon as the Kaleidoscope for Becoming Living Field Guide series. It has been an honor to share this journey with you. May we become the kind of people who remain curious, ask better questions, stay open to new understanding, and delight in discovering better patterns rather than becoming trapped by fixed beliefs or rigid doctrines. And may we remember that becoming better, brighter, and wiser is never finished. And that's the really good news. It all started with celestial psychology and has since evolved into the wonder-filled world of celestial empowerment, complete with an array of services and talented colleagues. Across my work, you'll see repeating symbols like butterflies, mandalas, and kaleidoscopic designs. These aren't meant to be taken literally. They're visual ways of helping the mind settle and notice order. One of the symbols I work with is called Huneb-Ku, often described as the galactic butterfly. I don't present it as something to believe in, but as a pattern for contemplation and a visual reminder of balance, coherence, and return to center. This symbol fits naturally with my latest work, Kaleidoscope for Becoming, because everything here is about the same process, improving our quality of life with energy, light, information, frequency, and vibration. The wonder-filled world of celestial empowerment offers a vast array of services: psychotherapy, coaching, intuitive counseling, teaching, shamanism, spirituality groups, a variety of energy healing modalities, and even 2 tachyon chambers for anti-aging and healing meditation sessions, all designed to support grounded personal and spiritual growth, especially during these times of transition, uncertainty, rapid change, and ascension. Check out our website to get to know my colleagues and me, and take a quantum leap into a future of peace, harmony, balance, joy, and ascension. Improve your quality of life by learning to live better and brighter on purpose and with ever-growing purpose through direct participation in your own becoming. We look forward to supporting you on your journey. Thank you for joining me on Kaleidoscope for Becoming Better and Brighter on Purpose. If this episode stirred something in your soul, share it, subscribe, and step deeper into your becoming. And remember to tune in every second Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time and 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the new Transformation Talk Revolution channel, where you are invited to revel in your becoming more awake, more aligned, more luminous, and more powerful every day in every way. Remember, this isn't just a show, it's a prayer disguised as a podcast, and together we are evolving on purpose. For more information about the array of services offered by me and my esteemed colleagues, visit our wonder-filled world at www.celestialempowerment.com. We look forward to serving you.